Hello everyone, it's Michael from Chess Lifestyle, and good evening Josh, how's it going? I've got to head to the chess club pretty soon. I'm already going to be a bit late, but okay, we gotta stick to our 39 minutes, and that is why we're going to do some pass pawn tactics to begin with, and then we'll try and get straight into some puzzle streak. We still need to lose. Somehow we haven't lost yet, which is kind of ridiculous, especially given my recent form sometimes. And also I wanted to note that in yesterday's stream, you remember we were discussing about how this player cheated. Well, potentially two players cheated. Actually, one of them, I really don't know, because he ended up not continuing to play amazing chess. So maybe he just played an absolutely flawless game against me. It's quite possible, even though the position was very complicated, and I have no idea how he pulled it off. But I guess, yeah, some miracles can happen. And then this guy, Enigma, his account got banned, obviously. But I didn't gain any rating points, because the policy with Lichess right now is that only the last 30 rated games get refunded, and I think it's a really bad policy that needs to change. But I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, despite me calling them out on Twitter. But alas, it's only some rating. We will gain it back. We will hit 2500 at some point. Welcome Arjun to the stream. There's a league match right now, but I have had to sit out as one of their players didn't show up after deciding a 2-minute walk from the original location was insurmountable. So I'm a bit miffed. Huh? I told the captain about this change 19 minutes in advance as well, so I didn't even know. Glad to see Enigma is gone, but the refund policy is annoying. Exactly. That is a bit crazy, yeah. Like, excuse my language, but shit happens, right? Like, the location can change. So what? Just play the damn game. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, sorry to hear this, Josh. But yeah. Arjun, welcome to the stream. I think I said that already. Let's start calculating. So this is a position, black to play. We are not going to automatically take this bishop, even though 9,900 times out of a... Wait, 9,900? What even is that? 9,900 out of 10,000 times, this would be a good move. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, we should evaluate properly. So 3, 1 to 3. I don't know why we wouldn't take. I mean, we have to take. There's literally no other choice. If we don't take, we're just down a bishop, and there's no way we're saving this. I mean, there's no way that this can be an improvement. I refuse. I refuse to believe that this can be an improvement. Like, at the very least, even if they didn't want to move the bishop, they could always take the pawn, and then we'd have to spend a tempo taking the bishop. It makes no sense not to take, so we have to take. And now is the point to calculate, and this is always a very critical moment. And the first thing you've got to realize is you definitely want to be avoiding these squares where white will be promoting with check. Like this is needs to be instinct. So then it comes a question whether we're going here or here, and maybe there is some logic to here in case we can win these pawns. But still, I would not be looking at these squares because of this check. We also don't want this square because we blocked the pawn. So okay, let's say we just go king d3. They go a4, we push e4, they go a5, we push e3, they go a6, we push, they push, we queen, and they queen. And it would be amazing if we could somehow win the queen in the corner, or at least get to a winning pawn endgame. And that is why I'm thinking, actually, okay, where would we want this king? Maybe the king is better here. Because the point is we could give a check like this. If the king were to come to c6, then we've got this skewer onto the queen. And if the king comes to the a file, then we can give a check, pick up the queen, and the king takes. And then in that position, we've got to be able to calculate, will white pick up this pawn before we're able to protect it? So in that position, white is just taken back on a8. We would play king here, they would play king here, we could go king here. I don't think them pushing a pawn helps their case, so they would come here, we would take, they would come here, we would take, and by one move, we're in time to save the pawn. So I think, yeah, I think this is working. So we want the king to be on this square. And then now is this important check, provoke the king to one of these squares. Yeah, and I guess the puzzle stops there because basically you've got two different answers and then that would defeat these Lichess puzzles. So, nice. We actually got it. It wasn't rated. Why? Why? Like yesterday, or was it the day before, I did a puzzle where I got it right, but I thought the pawns were going around the wrong way. And this time it wasn't even a rated puzzle. Maybe that's why it was like... What? Your puzzle rating will not change? Why can't I make it rated? Does anyone understand this? I haven't done this puzzle before. What? Oh my god. What is your highest rated win and worst loss? What time control, Arjun, are you curious about? I mean, right now I can't play any games that are rated. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, that's actually so unfair. That's so unfair. But I guess maybe it was like an easier puzzle. I don't even know. I don't even know. I want a puzzle that involves pass pawns. Oh, and that's why I'm not even on pass pawns. It's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. Okay, this is more like it. Over the board FIDE. God, let's have a think. I mean, my best win in terms of a titled players, I've beaten a FIDE master. That's probably my best win in classical. In terms of Blitz, FIDE rated Blitz, I've beaten a 2450 IM. That was pretty great. I beat another 2400 IM, which I don't know. Should I show this game? I could very quickly show this game, just to give myself some self-confidence that I'm decent at chess sometimes. So this was a Blitz game. Unfortunately, it wasn't. No, this is probably. Is it this? No, it's gonna be number 3. Of course, it's gonna be number 3. Let's have a very quick look. I beat this. Yeah, I think this is the game. Yeah, he played f4 against me. He was 2400, and I have this like h6 g5 line that I play against the Dutch when I was playing Bretty. And yeah, when they take, and if they take this pawn, it's really dodgy. And I play queen d6, and here I'm already out of book, but I went knight g4 and the guy castled. And actually I played the only move that has any advantage here. And I couldn't really, I didn't know this position. I couldn't really calculate it, but I just thought, Like, come on, it's against a 2400. I've got nothing to lose. I'll just go for it. So I just took on h2. I took on g3, threatening mate, so they have to move a knight. And then I brought the bishop in, so they have to defend again. And then in this position, I basically need to bring in the pieces, right? And I was wondering whether I should go like e6 to play bishop d6 or maybe e5, e4. And it's e5, e4 is a bit slower, but I thought maybe dislodging this knight is useful. So I played e5, I played e4, and then bishop d6. And then he tried this maneuver with knight e2. And then on this move, I found this. And it's funny actually, on knight g1, I played like engine perfect up to this point. This was a blitz game. And on my very first inaccuracy of the game, my opponent resigned. So this was insane. This was actually a slight inaccuracy because in this position, rook g8 is lights out. And bishop h2, actually, the game goes on after bishop takes h3. I don't even quite remember how. Yeah, on rook takes h3, which looks like it's completely over still. This is crazy, queen g4 resource. And my opponent, I think my opponent just was completely done, and he just had stopped looking for resources. So this is how I blundered and forced a resignation from my opponent. I played it with so much confidence as well, right? Like, I just thought this was completely winning, and I thought I just played a masterpiece. But I mean, okay, maybe technically it is, but I think in this position, I don't know what I would have done. Whether I would have taken, maybe I would have taken and even traded queens or something and just given up my like entire advantage. Like, I probably would have played this and would have had to, try and outplay my opponent a pawn up, but 2400 is not going to be easy. So yeah, this was a really nice game, but I actually won an even stronger opponent in FIDE Blitz 2450. This was very nice. But yeah, these are my results, and yeah, let's get back to the training. Okay, always like to remind myself that I can play some good chess once in a blue moon, so this is nice. He said Michael can't play attacking chess. Yeah, I did. Because that's the thing, I played bishop h2 at the end, right? I mean, okay, like that was always my problem. Like, I would get great attacks. Like, I would really play it well, and just the finishing touch, I would always fall short. And okay, always is maybe an overstatement, but it's really true. Like, I just couldn't execute these attacks cleanly to the point where it would just be too painful. So I think like I prefer the slow grind as my preferred style. But okay, we gained nothing for the last puzzle. Let's try and find this. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. I appreciate it. Or sub, I guess, since we're YouTube. Maybe because you solved it, need to go to the next puzzle turn. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's try and solve this. So 1 3 ba. What a wild position. Like, honestly, if I had this against, like, I don't know, like a FIDE Master or above, my heart would be pounding so much. Like, not online, but like in person. Like, if this was like some classical game, I reach this critical position, like, man, it would be so tough to like play this. Okay, so let me tell you my evaluation. So it's 2 pieces and 3 pawns against 2 pieces and 3 pawns, but we've got bishop pair, they've got knight and bishop. Their king is more active than our king though. And we've both got a pass pawn that is looking quite dangerous. Dynamically speaking, the bishop is attacked right now, so we need to do something about that. But it feels like one of these positions where, yeah, like this next move can change everything. Like, we play one slow move and the evaluation might flip. So, if we were just to make some random move, like bishop all the way back here, out of trouble, what's actually going on? Let's say they play a6. We don't have to stack the bishop immediately because they still can't play a7 because we can take. So it feels like this pawn will need some time to get home. Like, I don't even know how, because as soon as they play a6, if they try and play knight c6 to control this square, then the bishop can take, right? So actually, maybe this pawn isn't running as fast as we think. Now, same can be said for this pawn, right? There's no way to push it. So then it gets you thinking, like, maybe there's some point to, like, trying to put the bishop on this diagonal so we can try and push the pawn. And this was my first instinct, but I didn't like how when we push the pawn, the bishop and pawn kind of restrict each other and the bishop can't really move. So maybe it makes more sense to put the bishop here, covering the squares of the knight, and try and come here. And then when we push her, at least we've got two squares in case that's useful. So if we play bishop here, the king can't come immediately to stop this. Let's say the king tries to come in like this, and we put the bishop here, and they come in like this. Maybe we could play bishop here. They push the pawn. We've also got to be very careful as well, because as soon as we put the bishop on this diagonal, the pawn can actually run. And they could play knight c6 and push the pawn. So, I mean, let's continue with this first, just because we started calculating it. Bishop here, they push the pawn, we push the pawn, they push the pawn, we queen, they queen. But because I queen first, I would imagine that I should be mating somehow. That's my intuition there. Again, I probably shouldn't use my intuition. I should actually calculate to check. If king here, I could give a check. Yeah, this is too difficult for me to calculate. I think this should be winning. This is actually amazing, right? Guys. I learned something from a video series I'm watching right now called Grind Like a Grandmaster by Magnus Carlsen and David Howe. And one of the things I learned from it actually like the other day was that when you get to a position where one side queens and the other side queens, or even positions where there are two queens on the board and there are two queens on the board, whenever one side has a queen in the corner, the side that doesn't have the queen in the corner normally comes out on top, because the queen in the corner is just like so passive. So when I was like trying to calculate whether there's a win there, I couldn't calculate, but white has a queen in the corner, so it means that this queen, especially with the pawn on d5, this queen is not going to be able to join the defense, and that means we're basically going to be playing with a queen and two bishops against a king and a bishop, and they should be winning. Like, intuitively. Like, it'll be really, really unlucky if there's a defense. So, that's really cool. Having said that, okay, when we play bishop b5, this whole king march isn't forced, right? So, potentially they could play a6. And if we play bishop here, they could play knight c6. We could then push the pawn. But then they could even sack, we could take back, and then they can push, we would have to sack, and they take back. And maybe we can try and grind out this bishop against knight. Don't think it's so easy. So is there a better way we can do this? For the record as well, we also need to consider this move. This might be a very annoying move, just to blockade the pawn. So maybe actually what we've done, we haven't looked... and now I'm seeing this move. Like, I was thinking maybe we're like solving this wrong, like not looking at enough candidates, but I don't know. I think the calculation is also helping us deduce the right candidates, and that's why, like, you know, understanding that this could be a move, maybe bishop c4 is the best of all the worlds, right? You get to this diagonal where you've got a bit of space, and you also put tabs on this pawn, right? Like, if they blockade too soon, then we can take, and this has to be useful for us. So maybe here restricts the bishop. Let's say they push the pawn again. Maybe now we can blockade, but then they can hit with tempo. I don't like that. Not easy, this one. This is even normal difficulty, so maybe I'm missing something. I'm not going to look at chat just in case the answer is there. Like, honestly, my best bet right now is to enter that bishop versus knight endgame. I'm not convinced. Really not convinced. I don't really see any other move. Bishop here, I don't really know what to do if they push the pawn. I guess here I could take this pawn though. Because the bishop can't take without me pushing, right? So bishop here, push pawn I could take. And maybe this is quite annoying. This has to be pretty good. Because I gain a tempo on the bishop, so that looks pretty good actually. I think bishop here has to be the first move. I mean, our bishop's literally attacked. Is there any other move that makes sense? Maybe bishop here with the same idea? What's the difference? Well, are we trapping the knight? Like, if we do something like this and just take... I mean, bishop here, they can always... I don't know. I feel like they could even push. We could play bishop here. They could play knight here. We'd have to take. They would take. I mean, I feel like we're even lost. Like, this king is so passive. I don't know. I'd just play this move. I would just play this. I don't know if I'm missing like some important point. I also don't see why this is such a bad move. If they push, I feel like we can do the same. I don't even know how many minutes I've spent on this. Probably like good 10 minutes at least already. Is there like some mating net? No. Our king is so passive. Our king is put so passive. I feel like we have to keep tabs on this pawn. This makes so much more sense than to put it here, but I don't see why concretely. What is wrong with us? Maybe they could play knight here? Maybe this is a very annoying move. But then they struggle to push this pawn. I have no idea. Maybe it's annoying though. I'm gonna try this. Down we go, down we go. Alright, let's see the comments. Let's see the comments. Okay, so Josh has said bishop c4 with the same idea. If bishop b5, knight c6 you cannot take. This is what I said too. I guess bishop b7, knight c6. So, okay, we're thinking on the exact same wavelength. And it's completely wrong. So, yeah. That's rough, that's rough. Ah, God. No idea. Well, anyone else want to hazard a guess? I have no idea. Maybe it was good that I'm not playing right now. Yeah, I mean, okay, at least your move had some logic, right? Like our move, like, you know, we would hope that it's not like a losing move. I don't know what idea we've missed. Like, this king is just so passive, right? Like, it can't join the game easily at all. Like, I thought this knight is a bit awkward. If we could somehow win it. I don't know what idea we've missed. Bishop c8 to bishop f5. No way, Arjun. This is an insane move. I even looked at bishop c8 and this move didn't cross my mind. This is an insane move. This is an insane move. I think it looks so good though. It looks so good. If they push a6, go bishop f5. Wow. 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 Yeah. I'm waiting, Michael. Okay, that's a bit scary. If I didn't know who you are, but I think I know who you are. You're gonna have to wait like another 17 minutes. So enjoy the stream. But yeah, Arjun, that's sick. Yeah, bishop c8, congrats. What a move. What a move. Yeah, and I guess this is a slight issue, right? Because if we play like bishop f5, and they can, let's say, defend on this diagonal, and they can sack their bishop, but maybe this is too slow. Yeah, this still looks good. This still looks good. And I guess we just push, and this should be winning. Ah, very nice. Very nice, very nice. Okay, let's do one more. Okay. Black to play. We're in check. We've only got 2 legal moves that don't drop a bishop. So I'm going to assume dropping a bishop isn't good. Although I should never assume anything with these puzzles. So to me, like, it would make absolutely no sense to play king here. The only idea I would have is, like, if you were trying to bring the king closer to the rook. But then we basically allow this king into the defense, and it feels completely wrong. It feels like we have to play this. And then it just looks like we've got great chances, right? Like, we box out this king, we just start pushing this pawn. Like, how can this be wrong? This has to be a move. I mean, maybe in this position they try and swing their rook over. And then we need to find something there. But is there any reason why this would be stronger? I mean, maybe here after check you can play bishop here. Ah, maybe that's the key. Like, you actually box out this king and hide the king in a place where there's no checks. Wouldn't that be crazy? If check bishop here, and they're too slow, right? They can get to here. But hold on a sec. Wait, I need to be careful of this pawn as well, no? And also in this position, they can always come this way. But at the same time, okay, like, sacrificing the rook for this pawn, if we can keep this pawn, it's not going to be enough. So if here, here, here... Firstly, they can't take, because then I just push. So they have to play, like, some move like this. Maybe not here, because we don't want to go to, like, a light square at the end. So probably, like, we don't want to go here, so maybe rook b8. So pawn push. Rook would be forced to come here. Then we could go bishop back to protect this pawn. King here, king here, king here. I don't think we can allow this king here. So maybe... Yeah, king b6 is wrong. We should play king c6 to stop that. And that should be winning. That should be winning. So just one more time. I think this would be a winning sequence with bishop back, king here, and king c6. I think this... king f3, I mean. I think this would be winning. I think this is right. Because I think here we can't avoid the checks from the side. That looks really annoying. I'm going to go here. Nice. So if we push the pawn, my feeling was even rook here, king here, and I don't think... I think we should be fine. Like, they can sack the rook, but it's nothing. I think this should be winning. Nice! We got a puzzle. We got a puzzle right. Let's go. Can you see if bishop c4 is still right? Let's have a look. I guess it's not, though. Like, it's probably just drawing. Otherwise, it would be an alternate answer, which is just not possible. So yeah, it was this bishop c8. And then this. So let's take a look. So yeah, bishop c8 only move. Fantastic. So bishop c4. So you can just give up this pawn. And this is still a draw. Wow. So you play this. I would never have considered this move, like blocking your pawn. But the idea is that you want to get to c7, apparently. Yeah. But I guess it makes some sense why this could be drawing, because this is still a big threat. The king is more active. White's posted this bishop on a great square. Like this pawn is just going to get to here and kind of get stuck. I could kind of believe this. But still, it feels like very difficult to hold as well. Yeah. But yeah, let's do one more. Let's end on a positive. And if we're going to end on a positive, let's go for a harder one. Oh, God. Let's try and solve this. Oh, that's funny how they made this green, but it was definitely red. Because I just solved it, I guess. It corrected it. So, okay, I'm not going to check chat in case the answer is revealed. So, let's evaluate and then let's find a move. So, opposite color bishop endgame. 3 pawns against 4. Black has just made a pass pawn, and this is exactly the kind of position that I lose because I overpush and lose. So you can definitely lose these positions as well. Like, be very careful when pushing for the win. Like, the number of opposite color bishop endgames that I've lost, it's unbelievable. I've probably lost a good like 40 rating points from losing opposite color bishop endgames. That's not a joke. Maybe 50 to be honest. In like the last like 4 years. Probably 50 rating points lost because of opposite colored bishops. Crazy. Like positions where like I have no reason to push, and I push and I lose, and it's crazy. So I've learned my lesson the hard way. But yeah, on that morbid note, let's actually try and calculate. So I don't know. So okay, candidate moves. The thing I can understand about the position is actually Black's king is pretty well placed. Like, it's ready to like gain a tempo on our bishop and come back to the defense. Maybe that bishop's a bit awkward actually, because it's not really helping to prevent, let's say, the pawn getting to c7. But that's why the king is in such a good place. Also, this a pawn is about to run. So maybe candidate moves include pushing the pawn, maybe taking the pawn, maybe bishop c6, maybe bishop f5, c6 with the idea of hit this, and maybe f5 with the idea of this. I think these are all candidate moves. Maybe improving the king as well. Now you have to be very careful that you don't allow this guy to run, but maybe something like this. And then something like this, and if the pawn runs, then you can give this check. Like something like this, right? Like if you can get the king to shoulder this king, then maybe you're fine. So let's start with that actually, that looks very promising. If they were to sack and we take, and they push, and we go king here, we're still in time for this trick. If we go king here, let's say they come king here. Stopping this move. To me, this feels very tough to deal with. Yeah, I don't really see a continuation after this actually. So what other ideas? Okay, c6 is most direct to try and get a queen. Let's say they push the pawn. Well, then we push. They push. We can even give a check. Lure the king onto a light square, give a check, and then we'd be winning. So pushing the pawn, they can't push so simply. So let's say they bring the king. This king move is so annoying. But if they move the king, then we take the pawn. And then this, I have no idea if it's a winner or a draw, but at least we've got no risk of losing. So this feels pretty good. And I guess the question of whether it's going to be winning or not is if you can somehow create a second pass pawn. And the problem is it doesn't look like there's a way, right? Like we push here, we take, and let's say they just blockade this pawn. How do we ever... They can always just plant the bishop here and then just move the king back and forth. Don't see how we win that. What about we go king here? If they come here, we come king here. And then this is really fast, right? So maybe here... if we come here, what if they start to run with the pawn? I guess we'd be forced to play bishop d3. They could take, then we can push, and then we queen with check. Yeah, I think this is winning. I think pushing the pawn. So, I think this works. Yeah, and then I think the point was to go king here, and if they push, then we play this. I think this is winning. Hold on, let's calculate this again. If here, here, and we go here, and they take, and we push the pawn, and they come king here. Yeah, when we come king here, there's no time for bishop here because we're not going to take the bishop allowing them to blockade. We're just going to promote. So I think that looks really good. So let me just go here. Aha, and they've come even closer. So my feeling would be that we just go here and this should be just completely winning. This must be the move. Yeah, and then probably now it's this move, right? Lure the king here and then push, and then this is just completely clear. Yeah. I feel like queening makes the most sense. Has to be queening, right? Ah, thank God. Thank God, we got it. We got it. Okay, nice. Let's see if we can do one puzzle streak. Now we ended we ended on a 0. We got plus 10 for minus 10. Do we want to try and blitz in 5 minutes? What should we do? Guys, first person to reply, streak, puzzle streak, or one more pass pawn? PP or streak? Let's have an answers, guys. I'll open both so we can have both ready. Whoever answers first, streak or pass pawn? Your choice. Also, is my video like off? Wait, why am I so small? Why am I so small? Okay, that's better. Whoops. I've just been like tiny. Streak, easy? Okay, let's do the streak. Let's see if we can squeeze this in 4 minutes. Okay. Oh, and of course it's a pass pawn tactic. Brilliant. Black to play. But hey, this should be easy, right? This should be easy given all of our pass pawn tactics. So this move looks like the most... Okay, let's actually evaluate. Why do we do this every time? 5 pawns, 3 pawns. Their king is pretty active. Our king is pretty active. This pawn is the most far advanced pawn on the board. So let's see how it goes. If we go king b3, trying to promote this pawn, right? What options does white have? White can try and push. White can try and play king here. Let's say they push. Let's say we take, and they push, and we push, and they push, and we push, and they push, and we queen, and they queen. This is a little bit awkward. No, it's not because we queen with check. I'm pretty sure. So let's have a look at that again. King b3, c4, a3, c5. Wait. King b3, c4, king takes b2, c5, a3, c6, a2, c7, queen, no, our king blocks the queen. So I think we'd even be losing there. So if we go king here and they push, that probably means we have to take the pawn. Which looks promising too, right? They come king here. We go back. They take. We take. They move the king somewhere. We push the pawn. push the pawn. We queen. Yeah, and the fact that the pawn has only got to here, it should be enough to be winning for us. So I think this is the key move. We have to take the pawn. I don't see if there's any way for white to be faster there. King here, takes, king here, push. Yeah, this should be winning. So here, let's say they come king here, let's say they take and they try and stop our pawn, there's no way they stop it. So I think this is pretty clear. And then we have to take this pawn. Okay, so they've gone for this. I felt like this would be too slow intuitively. But let's see if this is winning. So if we play king here, I don't know what they do. Maybe they try this move. We take, they try this. And maybe we do need to be careful. Let's say we take, they push. We push, they push, we push, they push. Oh boy. This is a huge move, actually. Okay, let's actually calculate this. So if we go king b3, they go h4. We need to take on b2, unless we can throw in a move like f6. That might change something. So king b3, h4. King takes b2, g5. We have to take, they push h5, we go a3, they push h6, we push a2, they go h7. And we queen and they queen. Ah, but then we can move our king somewhere and then we win the queen. Right? I think that should be winning. I don't think f6 is necessary. And if anything, it means that I'm a bit more scared. Like if we've lost this pawn already. I feel like this should be fine. I feel like this should be absolutely fine. We take, push, a3, push, push, queen. And in this position, they have to queen. And we just move the king somewhere. Yeah, why would we ever throw in this move? Doesn't feel like it would be useful. I think king b3. Oh, good. Thank God. Okay, nice. The illusion of free will. I was serious about giving you the choice. But okay, that's it, guys. We are up to 61. And that is my cue to leave. And I need to go head to the chess club. So I will see you guys around. And thank you for sticking by for the stream. Bye-bye.